that is one of the ill effects of fake news or misinformation. Would you agree? Yes. So next time, kasi hindi ako nagbabasa kasi ng mga ganyan eh. Para hindi ako apektado. Yan ang ko. Yes, Madam Tikia.
Mr. Chairman, I would just like to, with the indulgence of the chair and the members, I also take exception to what the Commodore has labeled me as being makapili. In my testimony the first time, I said I am not pro-China, I am pro-Philippines, but I'm not makapili. He labeled several people as being makapili, and ako po'y apo ng isang guerrilla. So I took offense on that, and I stopped following him. Ang nangyayari ho kasi reverse ngayon eh. Pag ang tao nasa gobyerno, nililabel ka as being makapili, just like that. And you know the reason, Mr. Chairman, why he called me makapili? I had an interview with a Chinese journalist. That doesn't make me makapili. That doesn't make anyone makapili. So, wag sana po natin dadalhin yung usapan sa kune-question yung katauhan ng tao. That's why I never followed him. I used to follow him. I used to question him. But after labeling me as makapili, na hindi po, alam ng karamihan ng kaibigan ko, nag-decide na sana ako sa ibang bansa, pero umuwi ako. Pero for a man in uniform to call me makapili, that's insulting. Yun lang, sir.
Any statement, Commodore?
Yes, sir. The Global Times is the known propagandist of the Chinese government. If you're going to look at those personalities na in-interview ng Global Times, you're going to doubt what is the objective, why such personalities are being interviewed. If you're going to look at the posts of those people who were interviewed and who gave comments about our fight in the West Philippine Sea, I think that's where I'm getting that kind of assertion. Again, this is just an opinion, but those opinion is guarded on what I have seen so far in their social media posting about how they reacted on our responses in the West Philippine Sea, about how they downplayed the level of aggression that the armed forces of the Philippines and the Philippine Coast Guard is experiencing in the West Philippine Sea, not to mention the abuses of the Chinese Coast Guard against the Filipino fishermen in Bajo de Masinloc. I am not labeling anybody as makapili unless you're going to support and toe the line for our fight in the West Philippine Sea. Ang laban po natin sa West Philippine Sea requires amplification of truth and factual narrative. Let us not distort the messaging of the Philippine government. Ang laban po ng West Philippine Sea, hindi lamang po ito laban ni Pangulong Bongbong Marcos. Laban po nating lahat ito bilang Pilipino.
I agree with you, but that doesn't give you the right to label people unless you have concrete pieces of evidence. When you label people wrongly, they are committing a crime. Would you agree with that, Commodore?
Yes, sir. I definitely agree. And that's why I'm looking into my social media whether I clearly identified Ms. Malu Tikia as a makipili.
Sir, you tagged me. That's why I stopped following you. And that was, sir, Mr. Chairman, that is one interview. I received invites for interviews, whether political, whether campaigns, and that is one. How can you label me without knowing me first? That's my point. Being makapili in your time, in the time of my grandfather, and this time, it's something that we hold dear. We do not want to be labeled makapili. But he readily labeled me with one interview. That doesn't define me. That doesn't define my belief in the Philippines and on South China Sea. At Commodore, ang laban ho sa South China Sea, nagsimula pa yan nung unang-una pa.
Mr. Chairman, point of order, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Yes. Kaya nga po, nagkakaroon ng hearing na ganito dahil nagiging problema na natin yung fake news Otherwise, this issue would not reach Congress. Ako nga, to tell you frankly, yung mga anak ko ang nagsabi sa akin, smile at nakipagkamayan lang ako kay Honorable Franz Castro. Nililabel na ako na friendly with the left. O nag-I5. Anak ko ang nagsabi no, dahil hindi ako nagbabasa ng ganyan eh. Sayang lang yung oras. Kasi I need to discern whether the news presented there are true or not. And that would need time for me to discern or to find out, to validate whether it's true or not. So, never mind. It's just a waste of time. Yun ang aking paningin dyan. That's why I'm not affected kung ano man ang sinasabi. Nangingiti na lang ako pag naiinis si Honorable Marcoleta pag sinasabi na traitor siya. Anyway, Honorable...
Chairman, just, I will not anymore raise a point of order, but this is just a reminder to all the members, to all the resource persons. In the hearing, any hearing, we do not allow that exchanges of, Mr. Chairman, exchanges of accusation against, from one resource person to another. We have a different venue for that. And with due respect to Ma'am Malu, Ma'am, sorry po kasi ganito yung rules natin, no? And, the good Commodore, and of course the issue raised by Congressman Marcoleta. Now, we should not attack resource person to that question and attack statements coming from the resource person mismo. Thank you po, Mr. Chairman. Thank you po.
Thank you. Before I give the floor back to the Honorable Marcoleta, let me recognize the presence online of the Honorable Maria Rachel J. Arenas. Magandang hapon po. Yes, Honorable Marcoleta, please proceed.
Colonel, did
Commodore.
Okay. Commodore, you graduated from the Philippine Military Academy?
No, sir. I'm 3 weeks short of my graduation.
Would you like to say, or you would like to explain why you did not succeed in graduating from that great military academy?
Yes, Mr. Chair. As what the chairman, General Acob, knows, we have the honor code among the Cadet Corps Armed Forces of the Philippines. I was charged of cheating with other 7 of my classmates, and it was a gentleman's agreement. If you violate the honor code, you formally file your resignation, and then you just leave, sign the clearance, and get out of the Philippine Military Academy. And that's 3 weeks before my graduation, sir. I never insisted because I respect the honor code.
But did you violate the honor code?
Yes, sir, we did. That's why I resigned for the good of the service.
Okay, but that's not my question. We need to defend our exclusive economic zone with all our might and with all our life, because it is ours. Hindi lamang yung EEZ, merong continental shelf, territorial sea, and all this. These are maritime rights, which even the UN Convention of the Law recognizes. We had an award, yung arbitral award between the Philippines and China, and the subject matter is the South China Sea. You know that,
Yes,
I'm sure. In that particular award, the tribunal ruled that the Scarborough Shoal is a traditional fishing ground.
Yes, sir.
I'm sure you studied that. Traditional fishing ground proceeds from the traditional fishing rights, or TFR, which is a private right fully recognized under public international law.
Yes, sir.
You agree?
Traditional fishing ground.
And in that award, the tribunal said, well, the Vietnamese, the Chinese, and the Filipinos can freely fish in that area because it is a traditional fishing ground. Mr. Chair, I think the good Commodore and the rest of the agency that is bound to protect our fishermen could have started along that line. Because a traditional fishing right is a private vested right. It does not concern territory. Sa aking palagay, Mr. Chair, mas magandang maging magandang simula yun. Let's talk to China. And I believe China will recognize the traditional fishing right. Because in the year 2000, I will remember that they had an agreement with Vietnam in the Gulf of Tonkin. If you will study that. Nagkaroon sila ng agreement and they divided that fishing ground among themselves. Something that we can also do para hindi tayo nagkakaroon ng girian. Pinag-uusapan lang naman dyan are the living resources in this particular area. Bakit hindi po natin binibigyan ng emphasis? Why don't we initiate something positive along that line? We had the tribunal ruling. Sabi niya, it is a traditional fishing ground. Bakit hindi natin sila kausapin on that basis? Marami tayong jurisprudence, international jurisprudence. In 1974, pag-aralan po ninyo, Mr. Chair, yung mga maritime cases that was ruled by the tribunal. Yung case ng Federal Republic of Germany against parang Holland and also Great Britain against Holland. Yung alam po ninyo, yung ruling is the same. Kahit siya yung merong reference do sa sea na yon, it cannot exclude the rights of the other coastal areas to fish sapagkat they invoke the traditional fishing right. I am asking, Mr. Chair, why no initiative has been taken along that line?
Mr. Chair, yes, sir. To Honorable Marcoleta, it's beyond my pay grade to explain why our strategy is not in alignment with that fishery agreement in Bajo de Masinloc. And it's also worth mentioning that the Philippine Maritime Zones Act highlighted that Bajo de Masinloc and its territorial seas, we have sovereignty and sovereign rights over these waters. So on our level, in the Philippine Coast Guard, we cannot go against to the enacted law of the Congress, much more to the national security and foreign policy direction of the President.
I am not saying that it is within your pay grade to discuss it with the Republic of China. What I'm saying is maybe because you are a member of the Philippine Coast Guard, you could have talked to the other agencies of government higher than you that we could be initiating this along this line. Because we can take advantage of that particular tribunal's decision. Hindi ba? Pwede naman natin gamitin yun eh. Sabi ko nga sa'yo, ang daming cases, maritime cases, disputes, ruled by the same tribunal. Oh, ito, gamitin natin because they're all involved traditional fishing rights. Eh, yung arbitral award natin, eh, sinabi nga that the Scarborough Shoal is a traditional fishing ground. So, sinasabi ko lang, pwede tayong mag-initiate along this line because we are backed up by the award. And another, Mr. Chair, have you read the entirety of the UNCLOS?
Not the entirety, sir. I won't pretend that I have. Even if I read, I'm not a lawyer. I have a PhD in international relations, but I'm not a legal person. So I won't claim that I fully comprehended the contents of the entire UNCLOS.
Understood. Okay, so what about the aspect of that particular UNCLOS document that relates to the particular maritime area that is now called South China Sea? The South China Sea is a semi-enclosed sea. Did you find in the UNCLOS the significance of a semi-enclosed sea? I think it is under Article 123 of the UNCLOS. Kung tinatanong ko lang, sir, kung nabasa mo lang.
Mr. Chair, I'm not the proper resource person to respond to this kind of question, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, because I am raising that particular issue because if the most responsible agency will look at it. There is a connection on how we should approach the entire problem because the entire South China Sea is a troubled sea. Kaya dapat inaaral natin, saan kaya tayo magsisimula? Ano kaya ang magiging basihan sana natin to approach this issue? Because if you will look into the definition of a semi-enclosed sea, which is under Article 123, makikita natin doon,